How's it going, guys? My name's da-oista, and today we're back on the Minecraft grind, and let me tell you, it is a rainy day around here, but we got something extra special. Get up. We got a mending villager, and that has allowed me to make this bad boy. Unbreaking 3, Efficiency 5, Mending, and Silk Touch. All on a netherite pickaxe, which is absolutely incredible. I've also been doing a few things around the village here, so when we first started terraforming this, if you recall, I took all the houses down, or a lot of them, and stuffed all their parts individually in chests. And I've just been slowly reconstructing them all here. I really like how this is looking. It's really cozy over here now. And I think this is going to be our first order of business too, is to keep putting these up and making pathways to accommodate them, because it's really starting to tie the village together. And this area over here is just about done. There's just a few small tweaks here and there that I need to make. Okay, looks like we got one more house up here. It fit in this spot pretty well. Actually, I was thinking that it would be quite a bit bigger than what it is. It's a little bit cramped, and I accidentally didn't take into account the roof overhang, which is fine though, because it's a village. And derpy stuff like this happens anyway naturally, so kind of natural. I'm gonna leave it. And with that, I think we'll move on to the next one. Alright, looks like we got one more done. And let me just tell you, this one has a pretty stunning view. Check that out. But this one fits up here pretty nicely, and this trail is obviously going to come up around here. And it's going to pass through here. And this was already here, this, and I wanted to keep it where it was. And it seemed to work out pretty good. It makes for kind of an interesting little front area here on this house, so that worked out good too. All right, we got one more down here. Got the town church back up and running. Looks good. It's all lit up. Fits nicely in this little space up here too. It's a really long building. It's a 9x5 here, plus the space the roof takes up all the way around. But it fit really nicely into this spot that sticks out right here above the entrance. Anyway, we still got a couple more of these left, so I'm gonna go ahead and put those up. Okay, so a little bit later here, and we have our final house put up. And I decided to put it right here, and we're just going to make the pathway curve a little bit more aggressively. I'm just going to try and do a little walkthrough here and kind of get the idea of how this feels. So obviously this is going to be made to a nicer pathway, but once we get up here, like that, and then there'll be a pathway going to here too. And this will have a pathway going down to here. Up here. Of course, if we were to come back around, come back out, go down here, and then I decided this little area here, this little cutout, we'll terraform a little bit and make it a little more gradual and more pleasant to walk down. We can finally get rid of all these chests. Clean this up. Don't want to lose that. Awesome, so that's better. And this is looking quite a bit better already. Alright, so I came up here on the mountain to get a view, and wow, that is super cool looking. We need more villagers to fill it out, obviously, so we can have the hustle and bustle of the city life going on around us. Other than that, I think that is really coming together nicely. Alright, I cleaned up my inventory here a little bit, and I think that we're going to switch over and do something different for a minute here. Alright, so we're over here in our nether tunnels, and I'm just gonna take a break from all the building on the village there and just do something a little bit more mindless for a minute here. I have a new strategy for working on this. So I realize now this tunnel is quite a bit more complicated than what I had originally thought. But something that would make it a little bit easier to build it would be to go ahead and finish these outer layers, and then we can add the details to the middle later on. Gotcha. Bam. So what I'm gonna do is put these netherrack walls up here, which serve a purpose. This is where the row of fire and glass goes. That's in the back. But they also cover so much up that it will make it a lot safer to work on the rest of the tunnels without having to worry about gas or falling off as much, which will obviously help speed things up a little bit by itself. And of course there's some spots that need to be cleared out. And I'm going to work on this for a little bit and make some progress on it. And I will be back with you guys. Okay, so a little disclaimer, the rest of the audio, the audio for a portion of this video is going to be overlaid on account of me doing what I do best and messing up the audio, so I apologize for that. Once again, we're going to try to continue to get on top of that in the future, but anyway, enough of that. What I was talking about in this clip here is just that as I was building here, I discovered that it was actually a good idea, like I had thought, to build these sides and the top line there that you can see made out of the stone slabs, because it will allow us to build the rest of the tunnel quite a bit easier without having to worry about as many dangers. And I'll also have to fill in the bottom 2 blocks there, and then I will have a tunnel that at the very least is safe to traverse until we get it completely finished from one end to the other. And we're just gonna go all the way down here to the very end and just kind of see what the end of it's like here. And over here you can see there's a few places that need patched up from some ghasts damaging us. A good example as to why the sides are actually a good idea. But we are at the very end with these two little bits of progress in this pathway and or nether tunnel rather. And then down here I will have to move the ice road. This ice road is the one that takes us to our our jungle base, which is about 15,000 blocks in the overworld. However, I did not get the ice road going that direction lined up properly, so that will have to be adjusted a few blocks one way or another. Can't remember if it was too far left or too far right, but check that out and build it in future. And for now, I think we'll call it quits with the nether project for today. Taking quite a bit of time still, even though I found a better way to build here, so we'll just have to keep splitting it up and working on it little by little, chipping away at it. Okay, anyway, back over here by the village, I just want to take a moment to introduce a new project and kind of go over it for a second here. I would like to put a villager breeder right here in the side of this mountain that I'm not looking at because past me was all over the place apparently. But then we're going to stick it right here, and basically what it is, if you're not familiar, is it's a system that allows villagers to continually meet the requirements to breed over and over again automatically, allowing you to create, well, a villager breeder or villager farm, I guess, if you want to call it that. But it works basically by having a field of crops, which a farmer villager and another villager are stuck inside of, and they use that food to reproduce, and then the baby is separated from them. And usually this is done by beds because they are attracted to beds and then the baby is taken away from them, and the villagers will forget about the baby and start the cycle over again and keep on doing that basically infinitely until you shut it down or interfere otherwise. Anyway, enough rambling. I think we're going to start right here. I believe I chose 5 blocks wide, if I'm not mistaken, and dug straight into the mountain. But I will be doing most of this off of camera. Okay, so this is just a first progress update here. And as you can see, I've started putting the farm in, and this little doorway here was the beginning of the baby and adult separation mechanism. Sort of a mess right now, but we'll refine it later. Up in here, there'll be a system using slime blocks and beds, and this will be what we use to move the babies out of the way. I did, however, run into some issues with the mechanism I had set up because slime blocks obviously move anything they touch, which means that upon retracting the piston, the slime block will take the trapdoor with it, which is unfortunate and basically just means that I need to move a few things around, but isn't that big a deal. Okay, so I'll just give you a little update here. I'm really happy with how this design turned out. So, what you just saw up there, yeah, this is the first time I'm seeing it work, and it seems to be really consistent so far. Of course, I'll have to test it a little bit longer, but I'll just run you through what I got. The villagers are still going to be stuck in here. I did some adjustments on this area over here. And I ended up going with a tripwire hook right here, blocking this off. This area doesn't look quite as elegant, but okay. Because functionally it's working absolutely flawlessly. So as you can see, the baby villager will be attracted to these beds. And he'll come up here. And I'll have it set up, obviously. Adult villagers won't be able to fit through. But he'll come up here, do exactly what this larger one's doing. Everything down here is too high clearance just in case they grow up at any point or whatever. And, oh, there it goes again. I'm hoping the endless cycle of them wanting to go up there will fix once I have this thing fully set up. This might help. Okay. So it's nighttime, so he's still wanting a bed. Just see what happens if we block it off. Still's in there. Interesting. We'll work through the details as we go here. We're far from done. But so far this is really cool. I'm really enjoying this. Alright, so I got the other villager here and the composter put in place, and they have had a baby. Guys would, I guess I'll do this. Get them unclogged. But as you can see, the baby can fit through there and will be also activating this correctly. Oh, he's jumping. That could be problematic. Guys out of the way. Alright, let's see what he does here. Oh, he's jumping above the slime block. have no idea how to go about fixing that. that. Okay, I'll mess around with it a little bit more here. Alright, so this is what I came up with. I added another repeater in here, a little bit more delay. Alright. So basically the idea here is that with more delay, it will give him time to come down, bounce, fall back down in front of slime blocks before they push. So instead of changing anything, really we just give him more time to settle down. Still bouncing, but he's not bouncing high enough to be over this block. Watch it here. So far it's worked every time flawlessly. Awesome. Alright, I think I'm gonna work on this a little bit more. Probably finish up the rest off camera. Video's probably gonna just about to its end. And I'll be back. Alright, I've done some tweaking up on this. And I'm quite a bit happy with that at the moment. It's not entirely finished yet. But I think I'll just get run through here. So, lighting in here, kind of excessive, but it's really a necessity actually. As it turns out, lighting is pretty finicky when it comes to keeping crops happy. So, we had to kind of go overboard with it, but it doesn't look bad still. This worked out pretty well just being right here on account of you can't really see the front no matter where you're at, and very few times where we actually back here, so that's gonna fly where it is. It's also very important to have a block up here to begin with, because if not, then they'll up here and then jump down and they'll wreck all the crops around here eventually. So something that I had to tweak was this was a stair, which blocked the villagers off, same as the trapdoor. But the stair is different from the trapdoor in that trapdoors are different from villagers. I'm sorry, in that trapdoors are invisible to villagers. They don't actually see that block, but they're still affected by it, meaning they can't walk through it. So they think that they can get to those beds up there, when in reality they cannot. And that's important as it's breeding villagers as it stands right now in the current version of the game. Rambling aside, I fixed that, and finally, within a few minutes after that, started working, and we did end up with a baby villager here. Oh, I'm just go over here and sleep. Okay, so right now they will be pushed into here, and this guy's kind of stuck, and I think the easiest way to get where we need him to activate this on our own here. Work. It did. Okay, so he's where we need him now, and they'll be collected in here. Of course, I'll make this prettier later on. I just want to block this off for now. Logging that up back there. And I think what we'll do is we'll hook up a minecart that will be able to pick up a villager, bring him out here, drop him off, and the minecart will break, go back into hopper, ultimately back into dispenser. And that will allow us to basically it'll allow us to be able to place a button somewhere wherever we want, be able to call forth a villager, and that will be super handy. It will also be on the same spot every time, so if we want to drop him directly into rails or a minecart or a boat or whatever, it'll be super easy to get him there. And that's sort of the end goal with this. We'll also be able to set it up to where we can just have them pop out automatically. Meaning as soon as a villager drops in here, the minecart will bring it forward, drop it off, and it will be free to roam out into the... Again, this will all eventually be a village. We get the walls finished and everything lit up. A ways off, but for now it's really matter. It's not super urgent to have a bunch of villagers. And I think right there is about where we're gonna call it for the day. This is taking quite the time, especially dealing with these guys, and then I had to troubleshoot why they weren't making babies. They gonna make another one? Gonna end the episode with a success here. They do it? Failed. Oh well. Anyway, I think we... Oh no, they did do it. Must have just been stuck inside. Awesome. So yeah, this thing's working really well now. We just need to get the last little bit here finished up. And then this project will be done. Crazy cool. Alright guys, I think we'll wrap it up there for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like and comment. Subscribe if you want to follow along on the adventure. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.